Have you ever had a puncture 500 yards after you just fixed it? Here's the top 5 reasons why that happened. Hi, Gavin here again from Hanna Cycles in Lisburn. This time around we have a how-to video. That's how to fix a puncture the correct way. So, you've got your puncture. The first thing you do before you go and grab your tyre levers is make sure that the tyre is popped off the bead of the rim the whole way around. You simply do that by just grabbing the tyre between your finger and thumb and making sure that it's squeezed down in and the tyre isn't sort of catching still on the rim. Do that on both sides, spin it around, do it on the opposite side, make sure that it's popped off. Simple as that. Once you're happy then that your tyre's popped off the bead the whole way around, then grab your tyre levers. So start with one tyre lever, and whenever you're taking the tyre off, you start at the valve. So you're going to pull the tyre back a bit out of the road, hook your lever in, bring it around, and then hook it onto the spoke. At this point then, it's easy to grab too much and try and bite too much. That just makes life more difficult for yourself. So what you want to do is go a couple inches across and hook the tyre lever in again, round the tyre and go again. Sometimes if it's a really tight tyre, you might need to go with a third tyre lever and go on round. This tyre is quite a loose fitting tyre, so what we'll do at this point is just slide the tyre lever around. As simple as that, just slide the tyre lever right the way around and the tyre's off. Now you want to remove your old tube. So you just basically push the valve core up out of the way like that, bring it down in and pull your tube out like that. Pro tip, keep the old tube, take it home with you, buy a puncture outfit for $1.99 and you can fix this tube and then use it the next time. So the number one reason we tend to find people end up getting a puncture 500 yards after they've just fixed it is at this point. So the rest of the tyre fitted on around the rim, and you get to this point and it's too hard to get the tyre up on with your fingers and thumbs. You think, I can't get that on, you can't get it on. So what people end up doing is going for the tyre lever, jamming it underneath the tyre and prising the tyre on over the top of the rim. This is the worst thing you can do, because if you think about it, when that tyre lever goes in, it catches on the tube inside there, and the tyre lever pushes the tube into the rim, nips the tube, and then causes a slight fracture in the tube, which means that whenever you pump the tyre up to the proper pressure, that fracture in the tube bursts, and then you get a puncture 500 yards down the line. So the number two reason that we find for people getting another puncture 500 yards down the line is whatever punctured the tube in the first place is probably still in the tyre. So it's a good idea then to just basically take the tyre in your two hands, and you just need to be careful at this point, because if there's a piece of glass or a piece of thorn or something sticking through, you can end up cutting your hand on the inside. So if you can, recommend using a cloth or something. What we would generally do is keep an eye on the tyre as you're coming round. As you come round, you'll see the protruding fender sticking out of the tyre, and then you'll know to sort of watch out for it as you come round. And just take the tyre in your hands like that and just run it right round, checking, make sure whatever it was that's punctured it is gone. Sometimes it'll be gone. It's worth checking it a second time if you're in doubt, but a lot of the time, whatever it was that punctured it will still be in the tyre. So the next reason basically is whenever you get the new tube out of your backpack or out of your saddlebag or wherever you keep it, the tube has no air in it whatsoever, and this makes it much more awkward to get the tube to sit in round the tyre. So as you start to then hook the tyre inside the tyre like that, as you come round, it's just not as easy. The tyre's sort of sitting out, as you can see here, it's sort of baggy and sort of sitting out, and what can end up happening is if you put the tyre back on and you end up nipping the tube like this between the tyre and the rim, whenever you blow the tyre up, if it's nipped in there like that, it end up again causing a fracture in the tube, causing a weakness in the tube and causing a puncture 500 yards down the line. So I'll show this again in a second with a tube with a bit of air in it, which just makes life so much more easy. So this time we have a tube with just enough air in the tube just to shape it. You don't want to put too much in because that hinders getting the tyre back on at a later stage, but just enough in it to get it formed in the shape. When starting to put the tyre back on again then, you want to start opposite the valve and hook the tyre on like that. And as you can see now, this time the tube just sits well and out of the way. There's no danger of nipping it, and it's very, very easy to get the tyre on. Simple as that. You get round to here, gets you a touch tighter, and this next bit is the key to it. So you have your tyre ready to go back on, you tube in, or ready to seat the tyre back on the rim. When you start putting the tyre back on, you always start opposite the valve. Hook the tyre in and sort of hook it down on the bead both sides the whole way around to the bottom. And then this is the point where it sort of catches people out, where it starts to get tight at the top here and you can't get it hooked across back over the top of the rim. Before we go any further, the reason why we start opposite the valve is to shorten the distance from here to here. And the reason we want to shorten the distance is whenever you get the tire in our hands like this, we turn it upside down like that now and put the sort of difficult bit to the bottom. What you want to do is start with your finger and thumb here at this side and squeeze the tire between your finger and thumb and get into the bottom of the wheel. Every bicycle wheel has a bit of a wheel in it. That then allows, as I say, makes the distance from here to here the shortest distance possible. And you squeeze it between your finger and thumb, and as I'm squeezing the finger and thumb, I'm pushing round at the same time, bringing the slack that there is in the tire here round to the top here as such, and making it easier to hook the tire on at the very end. So as you do that, come around to here, the tire just falls on. Next thing you want to do before you start inflating the tire is to grab the valve core and just push it up inside the tire as far as it'll go. Don't lose it up inside the tire, but push it up in as far as you can. That carries the tube up out of the way so as it doesn't get nipped here between the tire and the rim at this point. Next thing you want to do then is put a wee bit of air in the tire, like I've done. I'd put about the half of the pressure that's recommended in first, just to then check to make sure that the tire is beaded on correctly onto the rim the whole way around. And you can check that the tire is beaded on quite easily by just looking. Every tire has a line which runs around the edge, and that line should be running parallel with the rim the whole way around. If there's anywhere that it isn't running parallel, like I've just noticed a wee spot here, you just grab the hold of the tire and pull it back like that and pop the tire up onto the bead. Sometimes you can do that by hand. Sometimes if you're happy with it, how it's sort of sitting on, it's fairly even and fairly close. If you put a wee bit more pressure in, the tube will automatically pop the tire up onto the bead, and you'll hear a real nice loud satisfying ping as the tire pops up onto the bead. That's nothing to be alarmed about, so long as the tire is fitted on correctly and fitted on nice and square. That ping is it seating back into the rim. So that's you now know how to fit a bicycle tire the correct way. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel and check out our website at hannacycles.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one.